All right, Shalom. All glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash, Barakatham. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. All right, peace and much love, honors and blessings to the elect. All right, for holding their integrity, conduct, and composure through these wicked times. This is Yaakov Wall, and I want to go into a quick lesson. This is actually going to be a remake. I had made this a while back, but I just want to repost it, man, and let you see that the proof is there, man. That these wicked elite, these high elite bankers that are actually so-called white people, all right, they are out there conspiring against Jacob, which is the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native American Indians. The true name, Yasha Allah, all right? The children of Yasha Allah are being schemed on, all right? And noises, which is of commotion, which is of war, is intended upon our people, man. And so for a long time, even before what I'm about to play for you right here, even before it, man, the enemy has been conspiring against us, all right, which the word conspiracy goes into an evil plan of action already put into motion, all right? So, I just wanted to bring this out that the proof is there, man. The proof is out there to show you that these devils, man, are always lying in wait to devour us, man. They're always out there trying to worsen the condition of our people, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then I'm going to bring scriptures in after it, all right? So here we go.
The letter is the secret meeting that changed rap music and destroyed a generation. Damn. So it says, hello. After more than 20 years, I finally decided to tell the world what I witnessed in 1991, which I believe was one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society. I have struggled for a long time weighing the pros and cons of making my story public, as I was reluctant to implicate the individuals who were present that day. So I've simply decided to leave out the names and all the details that may risk my personal well-being and that of those who were, like me, dragged into something they weren't ready for. Damn. Hold on, let me So we gonna tell a story. We gonna tell a story. We ain't scared. You know what I'm saying? What they gonna do? They after us, not scared. Look, black man. So he says, between the late 80s and early 90s, I was what you may call a decision maker with one of the more established companies in the music industry. I came to Europe in the early 80s and quickly established myself in the business. The industry was different back then, since technology and media weren't accessible to people like they are today. The industry had more control over the public and had the means to influence them any way it wanted. Right. This may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Yeah. Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen. Crazy. So this was the meeting. The meeting was held at a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people were being there. Right. Most of them familiar faces. Speaking of those I knew, we joked about the theme of the meeting, as many of us did not care for rap and failed to see the purpose of being invited to a private meeting to discuss the future of hip-hop. Talk to them. Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be from our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign the confidentiality agreement, preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. Needless to say, this intrigued, in some cases, disturbed many of us. The agreement was only a page long, but very clear on matters and consequences which stated that violating the terms would result in job termination immediately. We asked several people what this meeting was about and the reason for such secrecy, but could not find anyone who had the answers for us. A few people refused to sign and walked out. Nobody stopped them. I was tempted to follow, but curiosity got the best of me.
That's right.
A man who was part of the unfamiliar group collected all the agreements from us. So now it's going to get to the good part because the meeting about to start.
Talk to him, Jake.
It says, quickly after the meeting began, hold on 1 second.
Get your popcorn, y'all.
Popcorn, get your pistol. No,
Real though.
Quickly after this meeting began, one of the industry colleagues, who shall remain nameless like everybody else, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to a man who only introduced himself by first name and gave no other details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but that was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success we had achieved in our industries and congratulated us for being selected as part of this small group of decision makers. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable and the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement. He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates.
Mm-hmm.
The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons.
Mm-hmm.
It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. Immediately, silence came over the room. You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure I wasn't dreaming and saw half of the people with dropped jaws. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this a fucking joke?" At this point, things became chaotic.
Right.
Two of the men who were part of the unfamiliar group grabbed the man who shouted and attempted to remove him from the house. A few of us, myself included, tried to intervene. One of them pulled out a gun, and we all backed off. They separated us from the crowd, and all four of us was escorted outside. My industry colleague, who opened up the meeting earlier, hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking out about this publicly, or even those who attended the meeting.
Damn.
I asked him, why was he involved with something so corrupt? And he replied, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we can do. No, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we want to challenge without risking consequences. We all protested as we walked back into the house. I remember word for word the last thing he said. It's out of my hands now. Just remember you signed an agreement. He then closed the door behind him. The men rushed us to our car and actually waited until we drove off the property.
Damn.
So So this meeting, bro.
And that's a lot for a meeting right there.
Right. So I'm gonna end it right there, man. So as you heard, as you listened, hey man, hey, what can you say? You know, that's proof right here, man, that these devils, these elite, and really the whole nation of Esau, man, it's wicked as hell. All right, and they hate us. All right, they got a burning wrath, man. All right, and that actually brings me to a verse real quick. You know, uh, Amos, the first chapter. Let's see. Amos 1:9 says, "Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remembered not the brotherly covenant." All right. It said, "But I will send a fire in the wall of Tyrus, which shall devour the places thereof. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword." We live in a modern era now, man. You know, an age where people have forgotten old things. I'll just say it like that. You know, people don't even think about the Lord. People don't even think about a power, let alone they don't think about what occurred in the old ancient days. People think it's a fairy tale whenever we talk about history, whenever history is brought out. So, you know, in a time that we live where you think that would be done away with, it shows, man. This is proof. This video revealed a lot, man, that you know, whatever this industry colleague was, he said it's bigger than us. Man, that tells you right there that the so-called white man, that's proof that his anger had been held on forever. All right? It said right here that because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and they cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. See, like, the so-called white man doesn't know how to let go, man. You know? He always telling Israel, you know, get over it. You know, you should learn to forgive, this and that. But look at the so-called white man laboring, all right, raging in the, there's that poem, man. I can't remember who it's by, but he's raging in the night. All right, he's raging in the night, constantly practicing iniquity, as it says in Micah. Okay, his wrath does tear forever, man, perpetually. That's what the word perpetually means, forever, never ending. All right, but this revealed a lot, man. This shows you, man, that the wicked, man, indeed were plotting on the just. Okay, and that's why I had this in Proverbs 12:3. It says, actually, you know what, Salakia, 12:5. It says, the thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceit. And the reason why I brought this out was because that's why we do what we do. That's why the men of the Lord are out there, man, revealing this truth, because we know what we're doing is right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceit. This is evil, man. Like, when you, like, I've watched this exact video, man, a few times, and every time they speak it, I mean, it just feels eerie, man. It's unsettling to know that this man is out there doing this shit, man, and he got away with it. Because even in the video, man, it was telling you that these men, they got away with it, man. They were saying that, and they were believing they were to be in power and in control. You know, it's like, it's unsettling, man, to know that. But that's what the so-called white man is doing, man. While you Jakes are sleeping, while y'all remain in a hypnotic state, okay? This is what the enemy is doing to you, or plotting on you. All right? This is Psalms 59:3. It says, "For lo, they lie in wait for my soul." All right? "The mighty are gathered against me, not for my transgression, not for my sin, O Lord." But they wait, man. All right? Esau, let's see. Esau, again, man, his goal only is to worsen the condition of Israel. He is held on to an ancient hatred, man, which I'm going to remake that video, man, about the so-called white man, how he's held on to an ancient hate. because he's still pissed off, man, about giving away his blessing. And so he's trying to justify it by saying that we stole it, which is not true. But this devil man, the so-called white man, all right, has held on to an ancient hate. Okay? And he's upset about it, man. That's why the scriptures tell you, man, the bones are full of the sin of his youth. Like, man, he is upset. And to realize and just to know that he took the time to sit there and be like, man, I believe we can personally because if you notice when it talked about the privatized prisons, all right, the way that these entertainers would get more money was by helping add the number of inmates to these privatized prisons. That's why you see Jake always getting arrested. That's why the laws are so oppressive. I was watching a clip of Joe Biden, back in the few years, whatever, and he was talking about making the laws more oppressive. You know, he said there's a clip of him, man, saying if a minority is found with a gun, mandatory 5 years. Judge can't say nothing less. We got to make it 5, but we're trying to make it. I want to make it 10. 10 mandatory, no matter what. Doesn't matter if it was his. Doesn't matter. Man, this motherfucker, man, is so evil. Let me get that real quick, man. Let me get this. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they cover fields and they take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. These devils are out there, man, trying to find every single nook and cranny that could possibly give Jake a little bit of joy, and they're trying to make it worse or take it away, or be a bully. You know, this man, again, man, their job is to only want to make the condition of Israel worse. That's all they delight in, man. All right. Psalms 37:12 says, the wicked plotted against the just and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. They want to devour Jacob, man. All right. They want to destroy us by putting us in crooked conditions. All right. Unsettling ways. And let me just put this out here for you, man. Even with all the things of the world, they didn't stop there. What did they do? They pushed it to where they could have us be accused to our power. Don't they do that, man? Don't they do that? Revelations 12:10 says, and I heard a loud voice saying to heaven, now has come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our power, in the power of his Mashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. Because what did Esau do, man? Esau was getting us caught up in all this shit by, hypnotizing us, all right, delusioning our people, deceiving them, so that at the day of judgment, when Yahweh Bashim Yashai does return to fuck up Esau, our people are going to be held accountable as well. You know, like, see, look, I got your children to go off. I got them to do with the shit that they shouldn't be doing. As if we're going to be held, like, as if we're totally guilty of it. Though, hey, the wicked, our people are going to be held accountable because we were given the truth. I would say that. We were given the answers. We were given the knowledge on how to not be intertwined or caught up in this mischief. But it doesn't excuse you, man, for what you've been doing. All right? Psalms 83 and 2 says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and a tumult is what? A commotion. All right? And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Again, that commotion, though, is what? The sound of war. Everything that the so-called white man does is a tactic of what an enemy would do in war. You got that saying, silent weapons for quiet wars. And this is how the so-called white man is attacking you, Jakes, man, without you knowing. Polluting, contaminating, just totally obliterating, corrupting your mind. And you have no idea. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Again, the so-called white man's attribute was to be a cunning hunter of the field, man. The word cunning meant to be skillfully deceptive. This man has been skillfully conspiring and scheming on you, man. The scriptures say, man, he's more wiser than Dan. So all the knowledge that he possesses, though, was only to try and trip you Jakes up. All right? That was all it was for. In fact, Psalm 62:4 says that. Psalm 62 and 3. Nah, I'll start at 4. It says they only consult. All right, here it is. This is the sum up of the so-called white man. It says they only consult to cast him down from his excellence. Cast who down? Israel, Jacob, you so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native American Indians. They only consult. They only speak, and they only think of things to worsen your life, to kill you, to slowly kill you off, to poison you, to pollute you. All right? They only get together to do this. And this was proof. All right? This right here was the proof. Okay? But it says, again, they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They delight in lies. They love they're getting off killing you Jakes, locking you up, lying to you. It says they bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. You think like the beat you listen to today, man, was created to make you have a good time? No. Some beats are like that. You can enjoy a beat, but hey, I believe it was I think it was Elder Inap. Elder Inap, like 8 years ago, man, on Daily Motion, made some videos of the Illuminati in the entertainment industry. All right, and he brought out about what they do with these beats, the actual beat, the bass that they hired, like the elite will hire these these witches, all right, and warlocks, and they'll hire them to lay down a demonic presence upon these beats. So when that beat is bumped out, it projects that demon off the record to you. That's why, like, when you chilling, man, all of a sudden you may be down, you may be depressed. All of a sudden you listen to a rap beat, man, shit. Now you want to do some shit. Now you buck, you crunk. Now you want to go out and fucking get shots and get drunk, get some bitches and this and that. That's demonic behavior, having you spaz out, man. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Because look what going on in the city, man, is going to get you in trouble. All right, we got to do what we got to do, but that ultimately is what happens, man. You want to find some trouble? Go into the city. Isn't that what they do? Let's go find some trouble tonight. And then they refer to going to the club, getting drunk, get some bitches, get some pussy, whatever. That's the behavior that Esau wants us to be indulging in, because we're more likely to get in trouble with that. But this was the purpose. This is the purpose of the so-called white man. His the soundness to his bones is to kill Jake and to just deteriorate our people as a nation forever. That's what he wants to do us for. There's a book, all right? You can find it on the internet, or you can download it and you can buy it. It's called The Devastation of the Indies by Bartolomeu de las Casas. And in that book, it talks about how the so-called white man, when he came over here to like Hispaniola, and other parts of South America and everything, they said that the so-called white man saw a voluptuous, vast amount of slave labor. That's what he sees us as, a steady slave industry, a steady slave production, I believe. I don't know what the other word is. Basically, just a never-ending cycle of slaves to be born. That's what he saw. That's what the so-called white man sees you, Jake says, man. So it's not about trying to make you better or give you a good time. Yeah, slaves need to be comforted so that they can keep working for the master freely. And that's what he's doing. but through a deceptive way. You know? But I wanted to bring this out because this is the proof. All right? This video has been around for quite a bit, man. But this is the proof. All right? And I wanted to share that, man, because just more proof, just more added on to the so-called white man's track record. All right? But I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Love Willing, this is edifying. All right, always be aware of your enemy, man, and never trust that enemy. All right. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, much love, honor, and blessings to the elect. All right. Know your enemy. But with that, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Barakatam, Kwam Mashallah, Shalom.